as the days of Lot. Likewise also it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Now obviously you got to go into the Old Testament and read what was happening in those days.
Like a haunted ghost town. Well everyone, welcome to Gomorrah. Tonight we're just going to take a little drive through here and show you the remnants of what once was a vibrant town, which is described in the Bible, but was destroyed by God's judgment with burning sulfur from the sky came down. And you know, you may have once thought this might be just a fairy story, but this is really quite real, and the evidence is still here. You can just see all over here is just ash. This is just ash. Just crumbles. And you can see the layers. God's righteous judgment, His power, His might, His glory. That this place was utterly destroyed by fire raining down from heaven.
She is every inch the Hollywood fantasy version of perfection.
Yeah, it's true.
A Barbie come to life with platinum hair and 6-inch stilettos.
I love it. It's very Versace. Awesome. You love?
But this voluptuous, gorgeous woman, aptly named Gigi Gorgeous, started life as a Canadian boy named Gregory.
Ever since I was young, I knew I was different. I knew I felt like a girl.
Hi guys, it's Gigi.
Her honest and outrageous YouTube videos have made her a star in the internet age.
It definitely makes your lips look full and glossy.
At first, as a gay teenager, sharing his love of makeup.
So this look is super easy.
And talking about his dates with boys.
So yeah, from there the weirdness escalated and the date got even worse.
And then struggling in real time as thousands of fans watched with the idea that she was in fact transgender.
This video is kind of me just telling you guys that I want to be female.
Here's a model who broke new ground, Andrea Pejic, who started as a male and became the most successful androgynous runway model ever.
Oh yeah, working for names like Marc Jacobs, Jean-Paul Gaultier, big names.
Yeah, and now Andrea has completed her transgender transformation, and she's telling us her story for the first time.
You know, one of my earliest memories was spinning around in my mom's skirt trying to be a ballerina.
We first met Andrea 3 years ago, and back then with her long blonde hair, she was Andre, a male model. And wow, does she have a remarkable past. She was a Bosnia War refugee who immigrated to Australia, was discovered in McDonald's at the age of 17 and turned into a designer favorite. But back then, it was often menswear the androgynous model was strutting. Now, the fashion industry has fully embraced her as a transgender model in women's wear. She's breaking into acting, and she's also been a judge on Norway's Top Model.
Hello, girl.
Last year, she starred in the David Bowie music video with Tilda Swinton, who's also no stranger to breaking gender boundaries.
Listen, I need you to get something in. Estrogen pills or patches?
And she's finding inspiration from Laverne Cox, who's the first trans Emmy nominee.
For many years, because I'm black and because I'm trans, I was told that I wouldn't be able to have a career as an actress, a mainstream career as an actress. And this nomination is like, it kind of gives me hope.
I think Laverne Cox is doing amazing work. I think she's very poised and I think she has a lot of amazing things to say.
Trans acceptance in media has come a long way since the first transgender actress, Alexandra Billings, appeared on television in 2003. Then Candace Cain appeared on Nip Tuck in 2006 and a series regular in Dirty Sexy Money.
And if you look at our society, we have here an ex-transgender, 33-year-old person who now claims to be an agender alien. And as you look at these pictures, understand that this is a person who truly needs prayer. For this person has had his nipples ripped off, dude. Eyebrows removed surgically. Now, one would think that if you are an alien, you should have some sort of quote-unquote technology that you can snap a finger and your nipples appear and disappear. But no! Look at this picture. They're painted like an alien. You have to say he's an agender alien. That's the world we live in today. You can't say, hey man, you got nipples. No, because that's disrespectful to the agender alien. He's an agender alien who was born without nipples, because that's the world we live in today. And the church is at fault for a lot of things that are happening all around us, because the church has compromised so much that there is no difference now between the holy and the profane in many churches. For the amount of sodomites that are in pulpits preaching, singing, teaching is insane. In Ezekiel 8:17, then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? It is a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here. Sin has become a light thing to many people within the congregations, within the churches. And this is why we see what we're seeing in the land. Here we have Manny Mua telling you on the benefits of makeup for men. He has a beard and a bunch of makeup, obviously.
Whole idea of male makeup. Now, Ben, you wear makeup on TV because you're on TV. But for most people, most men watching this show,
Hold on.
I just outed you.
See, Manny, what I've said.
It is what it is, Ben.
Yeah,
you wear makeup.
It's totally fine.
What I've said for a long time since I started working television, and Kate's absolutely right. And you have to wear makeup because of the light stuff. That I think it's been a secret that's been kept for too long. Actually, that makeup can make a huge difference if you've had a heavy night, you're feeling a little bit rough, you've got a few spots and stuff. And
Why should girls only get the tricks?
I totally agree.
Yeah. But a lot of people watching, it's got to be said, Manny, a lot of British men watching will be thinking, makeup for men? What's that all about? So you have a very interesting look at it, don't you? Not just the sort of makeup you're wearing this morning, but how it can help all sorts of people.
No, and that's the thing too, like that's like the fun part about it is that like I feel like makeup is for everyone, you know, everyone, whether you're a boy, girl, anyone in between. I think makeup is truly for anyone that wants to wear it, you know, and it doesn't have to be as, you know, loud as my makeup necessarily. You know, if you want to cover up a pimple, if you want to wear some concealer to cover up some darkness, you want to wear some bronzer on, you know, a really rainy day, like that's just kind of how makeup works. You know, you don't have to, you know, conform to any rules. You do not need to wear lashes when you're wearing makeup, you know? So I feel like if you just take what applies to you and what you really, really like, then why not use it? And that goes for literally anyone. So for me, I like to be able to go out just on a normal day, do a little bit of mascara, a little bit of concealer, but days like this where I'm like, I want to be full glam, I want to feel it, I want to get into my fantasy, you know, it's just a different vibe. So I think that anyone really can wear anything they want.
Now you can't even have the Boy Scouts. They've taken over the Boy Scouts. They've taken over every single aspect. LGBT history is now mandatory in some school districts. And what is occurring here is that they're exposing children who should not be exposed to things like this. Yet they're being exposed at such an early age that is confusing children, that is confusing little girls, that is confusing little boys.
Today, I have a list of 14 reasons why gender fluid people are indeed absolutely awesome. Number 1, gender fluid people have obviously a bigger wardrobe. We can wear lots of things. Number 2, expanding on that, we have more choice in clothes. We can wear jeans, t-shirts, or boy stuff, or we can also wear cute dresses, skirts and tights and makeup.
Welcome back to a brand new video. Now today I want to talk about something that's quite deep and like dear to my heart, and something that means quite a lot to me, and I just want to kind of like talk to you about my experience. And that is, so some people might not know, I identify as gender fluid. Now what this means basically is my gender doesn't sit in one place all the time. So sometimes I feel more male, sometimes I identify more female, sometimes I identify more sort of like genderqueer, non-binary, like in this middle, and I float between these genders.
Alright, welcome back. Today let's take a look at Captain Marvel. A man of renown, a mighty one from the pre-flood kingdom. And there's Mr. Larson with the double-pronged Adam's apple. What's going on there? See the shoulders, right? Very masculine-looking body frame. White teeth and red lipstick, but the bone structure. Something unusual going on. Crossing the legs, hip pads, arms hanging straight down, broad shoulders. I do believe this person has male bone structure, but it's wearing female clothes. We call that a transvestite where I come from. Wearing the mask of makeup at the Trans Actor Guild Awards. The powerful shoulders, a theme we see quite a bit these days. The powerful female superhero, the demigod. The brow bone, very prominent. Male muscles develop differently. The masculine legs and foot and thigh. And shoulders and skull. This one's got it all, and it's got the red lipstick, and it's standing in front of the Oscar awards, in front of the triangles. The androgynous Oscar, I might add. The X-Men. Yeah. Oh, not so much makeup on this one. And see the star of Ishtar. We've seen that before, right? Inanna, the original goddess of the religion passed down to humans from the rebellious entities. Big old smile there, right? Distorting the face, giving us the old clown mask, the Joker mask. Who are you really? It's a disguise. Devil in disguise. Pyramids pointing up and pyramids pointing down. Put them together, you got a hexagram. You got an androgynous symbol. They like to communicate in symbols. Square skull, right? Almost a perfect square, slightly rectangular, I guess you could say, with the fake breasts. Broad shoulders, crossing the legs, leaning over, hand on the hips. Now this one almost has a bit more curves. I think what they did is they brought in the waist. This one's been doing some corset training. It's not so much that the hips are curvy, but that waist is thin. A bit of estrogen will help to redistribute the body fat in a more feminine manner. But you can see that head is just too large. They forgot to shrink the head. Sitting on the talk show chair. Talk show tranny, gives it away every time. Starving on no curve in the lower back. At least not a female curve. Small little man butt. Shoulders wider than the hips. Right? They're just accentuating the natural male hips that all men do have. Bringing the waist a bit more. Holding the old award. Now, you know, I don't even know if I've ever seen a movie with this person in it. So, and apparently he's won an Oscar with the digit ratio. Oh, standing next to that guy. The tranny. Ah, there you go. Look at that. Look very closely. There's a man hiding behind the mask. I kind of wondered, does he want to get out? Do you want to come back to your true self? Your true self is that of a male. But these people believe that human beings are supposed to be androgynous. That's what they believe, because we were in the past and we will be again in the future. These people are just one step ahead of the rest of us. That's what they believe. They become gods, all right? Demigods, spiritual entities. And they also believe that in our limited material capacity, we cannot experience our true self. We have to let the spirits inhabit our bodies, which are, of course, demons. Incredible women. Well, yeah, they're incredible, all right, because they're not normal. They're not even real women. Cover up that Adam's apple there with the scarf. Looks like you got some flat abs going on there as well, with a little bit of Adam's apple, the huge gaping jaws. This one looks a lot like a whole bunch of others. This is like a classic prototype celebrity. Now, if you think about the word model, right, model can also mean imitation of the real thing, right? So now it's an actor, I suppose, acting like the real thing. As a young boy, dressed like a girl. See, these people grow up from day one dressed like a girl, even though they're born as a boy. You can kind of see the boy underneath the disguise there a little bit, right? Hard to tell sometimes, but there's a little boy peeking out behind the disguise. It's all very sad. It really is. And I suppose theoretically they could all repent. Anyone can repent theoretically, but practically there's very little chance these people will choose to do so. Most people don't even know what repentance even means. So these are not the only people that are going to burn and suffer eternal death. And they're trying to lead as many people down that path as possible. They want us all to become abominations so that when Jesus Christ returns, that we all die, or to even prevent Jesus from returning at all. They don't want God to establish his kingdom on earth. They want to establish their kingdom on earth. If they can turn us all into abominations, maybe, at least they think, God will not return. There's the boy, right? You can see the boy underneath the makeup there. There's really no point to do these celebrity videos anymore, really, but I get asked to do them so often, so I'm doing this one. I guess the only interesting thing is this, that it's a superhero, and this is a common theme, this powerful woman idea that we see in politics and the media. One of the most common ideas we're bombarded with these days in the propaganda media complex owned by the Kabbalistic Jews, all right? You see that 8-pointed star, that's Inanna, the original goddess, all right? The goddess of transvestites, the goddess of the Kadesh, the sodomite priests, the witch doctors, all right? And these are all their superheroes. Now this Captain Marvel, not even as obvious as these other superheroes we've seen, Elektra, Wonder Woman. It's the same thing, right? Tomb Raider, right? Yeah, so maybe it's not a superhero, but it's the same idea, right? The Amazonian Wonder Woman, the amazing women who are not actually women at all. So they appear to be demigods to the rest of us. They're idolized as amazing. And they're all just a bunch of trannies, all right? Look at that, come on. That's a dude, all right? Look at that body, it's a man. This one also won an Oscar, all right? Why? Because it's a tranny, that's why. Yeah, same thing, right? Looks a lot like Brie Larson, in fact, right? Same shoulders, same rectangular skull. There's Gal Gadot, Miss Israel. Not even a true Israelite. And there you go, hip pads. The hip pads on the Shadow Queen. The Shadow Queen. That's what this person is. A Wonder Woman, amazing woman. A Shadow Queen. Yeah, walk like a man. Why don't you? A little bit of hip padding will work wonders. Now, they must not sell these hip pads in France. See, those are not normal proportioned hips, all right? It's a little too much hip going on there, right? They overdo it, right? There's Michael. Hey, it's been a while since we've seen Michael. How you doing? What are you guys up to? Is Barack still going to become next Secretary General of the United Nations? I think that would be a really good job for that guy. The sodomites are still in the land, but now they have the extra advantage of mass media, so they can beam their propaganda to all of us and get us all to idolize the tranny abominations. We can all become defiled without even realizing we're being defiled. So yes, Brie Larson's a tranny. Of course it is. It would never even be a working actor in Hollywood if it wasn't a tranny, all right? There are no real females working in Hollywood. unless they're working as a waitress. Now, Inanna, of course, is really the Baphomet. All right, the Baphomet's just a modern-day representation of the same old original tranny goddess, the androgynous gods who created human beings. And there's even a concept that they evolved into human beings, right? It's the fall of man was the separation into two sexes. They want to get back to the original androgynous Garden of Eden, and they want to take us all there. The truth is, that ain't no Garden of Eden. It's the Garden of Abomination. That's where they want to take us all. Captain Marvel, another transgendered demigod. In theaters now.
Today's video topic, Save James, or should I say Luna. A mother in Dallas County, Texas, if you can even call her a mother, that for convincing her biologically male child with a penis that he is a woman at the age of 3 years old, he's currently 6, has filed a petition against her husband to modify the parent-child relationship between them. Her unsubstantiated claims, with temporary requests for amicus attorney and multiple enjoyment clauses, here are the definitions in this little picture, have led to the following. James's father can't ever acknowledge his son just James and must refer to him by the mother's choice of name, Luna. James's father must take mandatory educational classes and counseling on how to raise transgender children. James's father must pay for all related medical expenses to be taken away from his paycheck. The court no longer recognizes gender as just sex, despite there being no evidence to the contrary. James's father is currently in an intense custody battle. I can't vouch for either parent's character, but at the very least, I can say thank you God that James's father isn't trying to have his son chemically castrated and introduced to the Dutch style of transgender reconditioning at age 6. This is a child making a permanent sexual and life-changing decision at age 6 based on feelings and their whole 6 years of being alive. This is a mother reaffirming this behavior because she obviously believes that 6-year-old boy is capable of independent thought and reasoning. She must hold him in high regard. He obviously has the intelligence of a genius for realizing he is a woman in a man's body at the ripe age of 6. For those of you who might not understand yet, children will often mimic parents and pursue avenues of behavior for reaffirmation from their loved ones. Every kid wants some kind of attention. What the 6-year-old cannot conceive is a lifetime of struggling from a choice they made as a child. At 12, I wanted to be a heart surgeon until I grew up and realized what kind of life that was. Here is the most atrocious piece of information that I've received. James is currently enrolled at the Genesis Clinic for Puberty Suppression and Hormone Therapy. Let me explain what that entails. His mother has full control of what psychologist sees James, and she only chooses the most far left-leaning psychologists, cough cough, picture related. Together, they are planning to suppress his puberty and chemically castrate him. After chemical castration, and as I quote from the website, pediatric feminizing therapy, why does a child need to be feminized? They have the option to operate. But Boomer, what if James wants this? Well, if my child wanted to cut off his penis and testicles for attention, do you think I'd let him? A child is as incapable of choosing a gender, which makes absolutely no fucking sense. The mother should be arrested for teaching him he's a girl. Okay? You can go ahead and let him wear dresses and everything else, but you're going to chemically castrate a child. The mother goes on to make a false claim of domestic abuse, which is true, it's proven, and she made that false claim, in which the jury found the father innocent. Beyond that, there was also a quote-unquote anonymous report of this situation to the father's job. Guess what? He was let go. So what can we do? Well, there are some legal options here and other ways you can support the father. Visit their website, spread the word. If you feel that James is being abused, you can report that abuse here and find more information on SaveJames.com. Contact Texas lawmakers at the county level in Dallas and the state level and tell them to outlaw transgender treatments for children, for people under 18.
But probably no one has had as much work done as Jenna Talakova. Born a boy, the 23-year-old wanted to enter the Miss Universe Canada pageant. Every year, hundreds of thousands of beauty pageants are staged around the world. Millions parade and compete to be crowned the most beautiful woman.
I regard myself as a woman with a history.
But when 6'1" Canadian Jenna Talakova entered this year's Miss Universe pageant, the biggest and grandest of them all, she set off a firestorm of controversy. It's hard to know, but Talakova may be the first transgender woman to try to compete in a traditional beauty pageant, an attempt bold, brash, and pushing boundaries, but one that raises fundamental questions. What is a woman? And do you have to be born female to be female?
So basically, I'm going to be starting doing vlogs on how it is to be gender fluid and pansexual, and honestly it's kind of terrifying because, you know, like, gender fluid people just aren't accepted as other people, like as other like cis people or trans people, and it's kind of terrifying because I don't know how it's gonna go down, but yeah, so I'm going to be doing vlogs. So August 16th is when school starts, and I'm going to be doing a vlog, or just like my camera sitting here filming me talking every day after school, and I'm terrified because I don't know how people at school are going to react, and I don't know how you people watching this are going to react, if I'm going to have any supporters, or if people are just going to belittle me. But basically I'm just like recording this for myself, I guess, and I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm like shaking because I really am scared. Yeah, I guess that's it. So I really don't know what else to say other than August 16th is when videos are going to start coming out, and yeah, so, well, coming out regularly, because I'm getting a binder in the mail, and I'm going to be reviewing that, like, when it gets here, so, but yeah, so August 16th is when you can start expecting videos to be regular. Yeah.
Getting ready for work. A meticulous process that involves shaving, glitter, hairspray, and a wig. But instead of performing at a nightclub,
Hi, hello, and
the venue is the Brooklyn Public Library in Park Slope at 10 o'clock in the morning.
who wants to be a drag queen when they grow up?
Little Miss Hot Mess
Who is ready for a story?
is the host of Drag Queen Story Hour.
This one is called Worm Loves Worm.
Talking, singing, and reading
We can both be grooms.
to an audience of preschoolers, toddlers, and their caregivers.
The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish.
And this is not meant to be hateful, because the sin of a person who's living this lifestyle, you can see it in the exterior, but there's a lot of people out there. They may look perfectly normal on the exterior, but man, they're wicked as can be in the interior. So this is not just to single out this particular sin, because in my humble opinion, a lot of these people are hurting deep within, and we have to pray for them. But this is more of an exhortation to parents out there to be guardful of your children, because you don't know what a teen is sending your teen. You don't know what a little girl is sending your girl. You don't know what they see. What they see is nothing like what me and you seen in school. And just as it is a light thing, the abominations that they commit before me, says God, it is a light thing. And it says, they have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put a branch to their nose in their sin, folks. And that is the generation that me and you are living in.
I thought this was maybe something that I could let go, but apparently I cannot. I'm Yasmin, and I am a cisgendered, heterosexual, Caucasian female. And I'm very tired of cisnormative and heteronormative crap. I'm truly tired of it. I was having a conversation earlier, and he just kept going on and on about how he thinks that agender isn't really a thing, and how he thinks that it's based on what you were born as, but he accepts transgender, just not agender. I don't know. He was just talking about how, like, when you go to the doctor's office, for example, when on the form that you fill out before you get to see the doctor, they have boxes male and female, and how people who are agender aren't misrepresented because agender isn't on there, and they should just put what they were assigned at birth. I am not okay with this because it is misrepresented.